G'day, Chief. Welcome to the Inner Chief podcast and this special episode, which we call the Mini Chief. These are short, sharp highlights from our fabulous CEO guests, where you get a 5 to 10 minute snapshot of the highlights from their episode. Righto, Chief. Without further ado, here is the Mini Chief episode for this week with Juliette Wright OAM, founder and former CEO of GIVIT. You touched on at the very beginning that donations can actually sort of be harmful or just get in the way. Like building this particular kind of organisation is really tricky and complex. Just talk to how, just some of the examples of how a donation from a well-meaning person who's really probably going out of their way to help, if they don't do it the right way, can actually cause more trouble than without it.
Yeah, well, there's a few really obviously well-meaning people. Like there's the ones like our nanny that says, I've been sleeping on that mattress for 20 years. It's perfectly fine to give. And you go, oh, Nana, no, work health and safety. And then you've got the people in a disaster that will just give a whole heap of inappropriate, poor quality stuff because they think the person who's lost everything will take anything. And then you've got the people who are just offloading their rubbish, or they're like someone donated to Fiji after they had a cyclone in 2016 and donated containers and container loads of expired cans of fish. Or after the Nepalese earthquake, someone left 9 ton of high heel shoes on the end of the runway and blocked all aid for 3 days. Like, so you've got kind of, well-meaning all the way through to thoughtless. But it was about in the drought, the very popular drought. Do you know when even Channel 9 and the drought agencies just went through the nuts? I can't remember what year that was now. Is it 2016, 17? But some well-meaning person donated a huge amount of stationery up north in far north Queensland, and the local newsagent person really didn't cope and got very mentally healthy, and it was an emergency services were involved, and it was all very negative. And that's when I went, hang on, even well-meaning needed donations can actually do financial harm. And I'm also noticing that when an area has been impacted by donations, if white goods come in there and all of the stuff that's already, there's shops locally to do that, those shops can go broke. They've been financially impacted as well. So I remember about 2015, I wrote a memo, which I was very Jerry Maguire about it, I'm sure. And I sent it to the board and I sent it to the team, and everyone who volunteered and worked at GIVIT everyone was involved. And I said, I'm thinking that donations, even the requested through GIVIT donations, are actually going to do financial harm to these communities. So why don't we change it to be best practice and buy locally? And I think my gut was wrong here. I really thought that GIVIT was going to fail, because we were then jumping into the Shark Tank with the Red Cross, the big fund that, those Fab Four, I call them, the Lifeline, Salvos, people who we GIVIT actually work in partnership with. But now I was asking for cash too. We were asking for cash too. And it didn't go down a treat, can I say? Anyway, lo and behold, the local councils and local chamber of commerce is in impacted areas, like after Cyclone Debbie, and they just ranted and raved about GIVIT and said 100% of the money that you raise through that GIVIT is raising is being spent locally on needs that are requested locally by local charities for people impacted. Let's go. And I think that was a game changer. But you had to go, are we going to stay best practice, or are we going to do damage? And we all made the call. And it wasn't just me. The board immediately said yes. And the team went, yep, we can pivot. We'll do it different. In times of declared disasters and massive events, including drought, we only buy locally.
I'm just listening to the story and thinking there's a few different evolutions, or like this step change that you had to go through And that's actually not easy at all to do that.
I had a great team. Like, I wasn't alone.
Yeah. But also having the awareness that's what's got to happen, because others would probably just plow on, right?
I'm wondering if it was going to ever happen anyway.
Yeah.
Because the power of GIVIT was just getting so big. I mean, and I was also getting contacted by communities outside of Australia saying, can we use GIVIT? We're being inundated, after hurricanes in America. And I was starting to kind of notice this pattern, and it was getting worse.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
I was uniquely placed, I suppose, to start noticing that. But the humanitarian aid agencies have been writing about it for years, but they only write papers about it, and you have to research down the Google rabbit holes to find them.
You said to me in the lead up to this interview about the need to have like 1 million conversations. And how even when you do mentoring with up and coming social entrepreneurs, you say, I read from 1 million conversations, and the ups and the downs and the shit sandwiches and the no's, right? So given, like you said, you only say, well, stay in recovery, that's probably 10 million conversations, 1 million conversations where you're up to now. What do you say to yourself when you're halfway through a call and it's a shit sandwich or it's going to be?
Yeah, well, I get them all the time. Oh, God, just 100% with the federal government. Oh, my God. What I do, I go, there's a few things. Like, I just go, okay, but I am now building a global donation management platform. And just the cynicism, it's just, GIVIT, that's a shit sandwich. I've got the flavor right. I just add Tabasco, a bit of sriracha. I know that with the global donation management platform, I will get 10 million no's. Yeah. They won't know the value of it like Australian governments and state governments. Now, GIVIT's now funded by most of the state governments, and we work in partnership with them in disasters. We prevent the unsolicited donations. We then work with the charities, make sure that their needs are met, help the people in need get the things they need quickly, and then they move on to the next phase of recovery. And we're there for the long tail of recovery. So you really need like an innovative, big brain person in the government, which is bureaucracy, not bureaucracy, it's bureaucracy, to understand the value. But now they do. Yeah. And now going to international communities, I'm going to just have to start over again. But we've got GIVIT for the proven working model. But I'm just going to but this time I made an absolute commitment to not do it with that I'm not going to fail grit. I'm actually doing this one with ease. Yeah. Because otherwise I'm not going to do it. If I'm going to just do this because I'm joyful, like to the point where I'm actually so happy right now. I actually thought I should go and see my GP because I'm manic, maybe, because I'm so happy all the time. Mind you, I popped my tire yesterday and I was unhappy. So I thought, this is good. I need to be balanced. I'm doing it with ease. I'm now onto the 6th final phase of the build, and I haven't lost a night's sleep, which that was the total opposite with GIVIT.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. I just think of the 10 years I was CEO, I don't think I slept for 7. Wow. I was on a rocket that I couldn't afford. GIVIT was just growing so fast. I just didn't have any money because it's not a direct service provider. It's kind of like a charity for charities. And there was just no funding body for it. And there still is. There's no funding for recovery at all. It's a not-for-profit. Yeah. And basically, so far, I'm just putting Glenn on a very big diet, and I've got a few supporters, but it's I'm just doing it with ease. Greg, I'm not 100% sure I'll succeed, but I know I've got 10 million conversations in me.
Chief, there you have it for this week with our mini Chief episode. chiefmaker.com/330 is where you'll find all the resources and links to get involved. And if you'd like to stay in touch with Chief Maker, just go to chiefmaker.com/subscribe. Chief, one of the core skills of all great chiefs is the ability to interview and recruit the very best performers to your team. Now, many chiefs say to me that they get up to 25 or even 40% of their recruitment decisions wrong. Now, many of you who listen to this show will know that over the last 6 years, we have asked dozens of CEOs what is their number one interview question when recruiting for senior roles. What we have done is turn that into an invaluable resource. It is the 30 most powerful interview questions used by CEOs to hire high performers. These are the questions that reveal the true nature of the person in front of you. They are the ones that give or create that truth-telling moment that will help you decide whether to hire or not. Chief, if you want this resource, just go to chiefmaker.com/interview and just pop in your details and download the detailed PDF.
Righto, Chief. As always, remember to stay epic.